If you've been following our blog at all, you'll know that in October of 2015, Kentech Inc. established a sister company called Carve. And Carve is a woodworking business. We've always dabbled in woodworking in addition to our CNC machine shop experiences. And so we decided to start a woodworking business to create custom handmade furniture and unique wood carvings. So you can check that out at carvewoodworking.com as we start to get that ramped up and underway. But we do have a X-Carve router that we purchased to do our CNC machining. Something small, something simple to get the business started. And the sister part of it is that we're using our Kipware software. We're using our conversational software to program the router. And then we're using our business software, our CYC cycle time and our QTE cost estimating to be able to come up with the prices and the costs of the products that we produce. And today I'd like to do a video to show you how we're using KipwareQTE to come up with a cost estimate for a plaque that we're making. Here's a picture of the plaque, and there's two ways that you can mount it. You can use our little moose track feet to stand it up on a desk, or you can hang it up on a wall. And you can see that it has a 3D carve in it that we did with the X-Carve. The plaque is about 5.5 inches tall by 12 inches long. And we'd like to know how much we should charge for this particular plaque. So we're going to use our KipwareQTE to be able to come up with a cost. So we're going to start QTE, and we're going to add a few things to the database. The first thing we're going to add is we're going to add the X-Carve as our work center. And now that we have that in the database, we can add some hourly rate, which is $35 an hour, which is what we charge. And the machine is very efficient because it runs unattended, so we put an efficiency rating of 90%. We're going to save this. So we've got our machine in the database. What we're going to do is add the material. What we're making this out of is oak, and we're buying it at 5.5 by 8 foot length. So we're going to add that to the database, and then we'll put some costs to it. We're purchasing it by the length, and it's $2.65 per foot. So we're going to save this to the database as well. And then we need to put some tooling in here. So we're going to put some perishable tooling into the database. We use a 1/4 inch router bit to finish it. I'm sorry, that's an 1/8 inch router bit to finish it. So we're going to add this to the database. Let's put a cost to it, and the cost of that is $35. Then we're going to add another tool to the database, which is our 1/4 inch flat router bit. We use this to rough the contour. Let's put the cost of this particular tool was $12.53. So we're going to save those two tools to the database. We've got all our information in the database, and this is kind of how we recommend you build the database. You're going to do a job, put the information into the databases, and then everything is saved and ready for the next time that you want to use it. So it's always in the database. Just to make sure everything gets loaded, we're going to restart the software and start our quote. So first thing we're going to do is our material cost. So we're going to go and grab that material that's in the database. The plaque is 12 inches, so we're going to go 12.25 because we're going to saw off some of the edges, straighten it out, and probably use 1/8 of an inch on each side, so we'll use 12.25 inches. We've got a 3% markup for our material, so let's take a look at how much our material cost is, and it's about $2.79 for one plaque. Let's do some perishable tooling. The first one is going to be the 1/4 flat router bit. The estimated tool life per piece is we can get about 6 pieces out of here before we decide we want to change it. edges get a little round, get a little dull. So we're going to go with 6 pieces here. We're going to take and put another tool, which is the 125 ball router bit, and we can get about 12 out of these. So let's do some calculate costs. Again, we've got a 3% markup for our tooling. So $7.94 for the material cost and the tooling cost. And you can see how easy this is to do with QTE. It's all done automatically for us, amortized over, in this particular case, 1 part, but it's automatically factoring in our markup percentage. So what we're putting in is the actual numbers, and we're marking it up 3%. Let's do some machining now. So first work center we're going to do is pull down our X-carve. The operation name is going to be rough, the 3D contour. That actually took us 20 minutes. And then the second operation involves the same machine. And this is going to be finish, the 3D contour. This actually took us 45 minutes. So let's see how the labor cost is looking. So labor cost $42.96. We've got about $50 so far into the part. We've got some non-machining costs that we're going to add in. Our programming time was about 10 minutes. Our programming hourly rate, this is $15 an hour. Our setup time actually took us about the same time, about 10 minutes, and that's $15 an hour we charge as well. So additional services, number 1, we had to do some sanding. That also took us about 10 minutes, and we charged the same $15 an hour. The second one, we did some finishing, in which we put some polyurethane on it. That took us a little bit longer. That took us about 15 minutes by the time we put all the coats on, sanded in between. I'm going to do $20 an hour for that. The markup percentage, usually we use 0, but in this case we're going to use our 3%, and we're going to calculate the costs. So this is everything really that's involved in making that plaque, and you can see it's $63.42. So we'll probably go with somewhere around $65 for that particular plaque, which seems about right. It's a nice oak plaque, has some nice 3D engraving in it, has a nice finish. It's just the right size for a desk or on the wall. So $65 is going to be the charge that we're going to put onto that plaque. And you can see how easy this was to do with KipwareQTE, even though it's designed for machine shop metalworking. Woodworking, metalworking has a lot of the same features, a lot of the same processes involved in creating the part. So this is KipwareQTE. You can get more information on KipwareQTE on our website, which is kentecinc.com.